Wow, 22 minutes after 11 o'clock, I'm saying, wow, I was looking at the notes for our next interview. On the phone, Melissa Berg, Tony Palamidessi, and Dr. Jennifer Rasmussen-Winkler. If I've said any of those names wrong, I apologize. We're talking about the stroke and the warning signs of a stroke, and really a rather extraordinary story that happened to Melissa. And Tony is Melissa's son, by the way. Melissa had a stroke while Tony was he a passenger or driver, Robin? Who was in the car? He was a passenger. Okay, let's say hello to everybody. Melissa, Tony, and Dr. Rasmussen-Winkler. Good morning to all three of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Are you all in the same place? Where are you guys?
We are.
And
here in Addison, Texas.
Okay. Melissa, let me start with you. Take us back to that day. What happened?
Well, I had moved 3 days prior, actually less than 72 hours, driven cross-country from California to Texas with my son. So I was tired, exhausted. We were out looking at property because I was moving, wanting to buy a house, and we were driving. I was in the back seat. My son was the driver.
Okay.
And he realized I wasn't speaking, and
oh my gosh,
kept looking at me through the rearview mirror, and just basically asked, "Mom, are you okay?" And I didn't respond. And shortly thereafter, he was like, "Mom, do I need to take you to the hospital?"
Wow.
I shook my head no. And one of the important things is you don't listen to the person who, you're questioning whether they're in good health or if they're okay. Just go with your gut.
Wow. What were you experiencing? Were you feeling any pain or anything unusual?
No, I just felt off. I just didn't feel right. I felt, honestly, like I was experiencing an out-of-body experience.
Holy cow.
But I kept attributing it to, I was tired. I was exhausted. I didn't think, honestly, there was anything wrong.
Tony, what did you do?
Yeah, like she said, we were a little bit different just because she had moved. So I kind of attributed her not talking because she was reminiscing on moving from California and just kind of being a little sad and just looking out the window. So once that went on for about 5 minutes, that's when I kind of realized, hey, is everything okay? And when she didn't reply back, I shortly thereafter realized, and saw the signs of a stroke, or part of them, which you can remember the acronym FAST, which is face, arm, speech, and time. So when I actually turned around, I noticed her right arm was kind of down and limp, and her right side of her mouth was drooping. And that's when I kind of realized something was wrong. Still didn't realize it was a stroke. And we were very lucky. We were actually right down the street from a hospital. So I was able to drive there. But if we were at home, I would have called 911 right away.
Right.
And so I didn't realize how severe it was until I actually went to get her out of the car. And she had just basically was dead weight. So her entire right side of her body was paralyzed.
Wow. And it's good for you for knowing all those signs. Are you a medical person? You're a doctor or something?
I'm in pharma sales, actually. But yeah, I didn't know it was a stroke, but I knew something was off because my mom was actually very healthy and very fit. So I was like, you're not talking and something's going on. I don't know what, but you're not okay.
Yeah. So you just told us something important. She's a fit person. She's in shape. And Dr. Rasmussen-Winkler, if I could direct it to you now, that's something we don't think. If we're out of shape, you think, okay, this could happen to us, but not when we're in shape. What happens there?
Exactly. So strokes can happen to anyone for a number of different reasons. And sometimes your fitness level isn't a part of what's going on, or you don't have the classic risk factors such as high blood pressure and high cholesterol. And so it's important to look for these signs of stroke and recognize them, whether they be in a young adult, 18 years old, or a fit mom, or anyone around you, because if there's a sudden change in how somebody is responding to you, that is very concerning for an ischemic stroke, and we can treat it the sooner you get into the hospital.
Well, we always hear about the 4 signs of stroke, like Tony said, FAST, but what are the other 6, the warning signs?
So you can get more details of them on signsofstroke.org, but to highlight a couple of important ones, lack of the ability to walk is a very important one. When we think of ischemic stroke, we think about disability, and imagine if suddenly you can't walk. You're not weak on an arm, you can talk okay, but you can't walk. Every time you stand up, you lean to one side and you're falling over. That can be a sign and symptom of stroke and needs to get immediate treatment. Same thing with a lack of vision. You can lose vision in one eye or half of your vision, and that can be a very disabling stroke and should be treated immediately. Lack of sensation, so you can lose sensation on half of your body. And again, a sign and symptom of stroke that you should come in for evaluation.
And Tony, how did you keep your perspective and your calmness while trying to get your mom help?
I mean, it's basically what I had to do, I guess. I mean, it was a task at hand, so I kept it together until she got to the hospital, basically. And even then, I mean, we haven't shared this, but we actually got care flighted down to Dallas from the hospital we were in a helicopter. So, I mean, until I knew that she was safe, I kind of just had to keep it together.
Wow. Melissa, have you changed anything about your lifestyle since the stroke that might have contributed to it?
I am now taking medication for high cholesterol, which I refused to do before. So I knew I had high cholesterol. So really important. If a doctor suggests that you go on that medication, don't argue. Just do it. Yeah. And I probably have slowed down. I used to be a typical type A personality. And I don't have that list in front of me all the time that I got to tick everything off before the end of the day.
Good for you. Yeah, slow down. We got to start enjoying life, right? Do you think the stress of moving contributed to it?
Stress isn't really a cause for stroke. Okay. But I'm sure, having been as tired as I was, maybe it definitely prevented me from, considering that it was anything major, because, I thought it was something completely different than it turned out to be.
Maybe it's those Texas steaks. They're gigantic in Texas.
There you go. You gotta have that steak sauce too.
I'm not a big red meat eater to begin with, so that wouldn't be the cause, but it could be for others.
Yeah, well, I was trying to be silly.
I know.
Melissa, Tony, Melissa, I'm so glad you're doing well. Tony, I'm glad you were there for your mom, because had you not been, who knows what might have happened. And Dr. Rasmussen-Winkler, thank you for sharing your knowledge with us. I want to make sure before we run out of time, we give the listeners a website that you mentioned it earlier. If you could do it again, please.
Yes, signsofstroke.org.
Easy enough. Signsofstroke.org. Well, thank you for setting up that site. That's going to be very helpful, probably life-saving to a lot of people. Thank you, all three of you, and enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. I was going to say enjoy the weekend. It's Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM.
Fox News Radio. I'm Lillian Wu. A state of emergency declared for Hawaii ahead of Hurricane Lane, a Category 4.
Lane trying to become the third major hurricane in modern history to hit the islands directly, and the first one in 26 years.
Fox's Adam Hasley on the island of Maui, which is under an active hurricane warning, along with Oahu and the Big Island. California Congressman Duncan Hunter and his wife due in court today after being indicted on corruption charges.
Like President Trump, Hunter claims this is a political witch hunt.
I've done nothing wrong.
Prosecutors say Hunter and wife Margaret used $250,000 in campaign money for vacations, private school tuition, concealing theater tickets and dental work as charitable donations, claiming golf shorts as golf balls for wounded warriors. Together, they allegedly overdrew their bank account 1,100 times.
Fox's William LaJeunesse.